Okay, so yeah, that is it, everybody. That is the end of Twilight Princess. For those of you who haven't played, what about that for a plot twist? That is by far one of the coolest things that the game put in. You get to see Midna in her former glory, not as an imp. I mean, this game has really, really good plot twists, I feel, and a really great story. And that is definitely one of the coolest plot twists ever. It's kind of like in Wind Waker, you know, that big plot twist that kind of makes you go, oh, that makes sense, or that is so cool. But it's still a really cool twist. So anyways, I hope that those of you who haven't watched or played the game before enjoyed it, and if you haven't played or watched before, then I want to give you extra thanks, you know, for choosing my Let's Play out of all the ones on YouTube to watch. And for those of you who have played before, I want to thank you for re-watching a game, or watching me play a game that you've already played through, I should say. And hopefully I made it fun for you. Maybe you learned a couple things. I know I certainly did. Twilight Princess has never been one of my favorite Zelda games, and I actually really wasn't contemplating Let's Playing it at all. It was pretty much on the bottom of my list as one of the Zelda games I've played that I didn't want to do a playthrough of, but you know, in the end I ended up playing it, and I definitely don't regret it. And there are things that I did in this playthrough that I had never done before. For example, getting all the heart pieces, like the rafting minigame, beating Yetta, things like that are things that I never bothered to do when I was just playing casually. So it's really cool that I got the opportunity to do that, to, you know, experience the game fully. Things like Let's Plays always inspire me to do things like that, just because I want to extend as much help as I can to other people. So you also want to watch the credits as I talk through them, because in the background, behind all the words, of course, you'll see how Hyrule is turning out and all the people that we've met in our journey and what they're doing after Link has saved the world. And also the actual game ending itself hasn't come up, so you want to sit through these incredibly long credits. This game has super long credits. I have no idea how I'm going to talk through this for 13 minutes, but yeah, if you don't want to watch all the credits, then there is an actual more of an ending bit to the game that you do want to watch later. But I think it's really cool that you also get to see all the people in Hyrule that you helped and how they're doing. Because this game actually has a lot of characters. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't that important, and the ones that are considered important, you actually don't see a whole lot. I mean, Ilia was someone who's super important in the beginning of the game, and then for the longest time she was just forgotten about, and then you do a quest for her, and then that's it. It's pretty anticlimactic, but overall, I think I did an okay job. There were certainly parts in this game that I didn't feel I did the greatest job on. I certainly thought I could do a lot better, but nobody's perfect, and cutting out your imperfections, I feel, all the time is giving people a false idea of what it is that you're actually capable of. And Twilight Princess is a very popular game in the Zelda series just because it's newer, and just because it is so different. It's got kind of a different feel to it. It's got some different mechanics, you know, with Wolf Link and things like that, and it's also got a different kind of sidekick. I mean, Link doesn't always have a fairy. There's been the King of Red Lions and the Cap from Minish Cap, and then Skyward Sword also a different kind of companion, but something was really special about Midna. And in all the Zelda games, you know, she is by far my favorite companion to have. Mostly just because I feel that the relationship between her and Link was one that truly grew stronger over time. And, you know, they really, really bonded as friends. And it's kind of a game that puts a lot of focus on that, and it just makes it that much more important. So you can see the kids are returning back to Orden Village. You know, and again, the kids, they didn't have much to do in the game, like Beth and Colin, which is too bad, because Colin's one of my favorite characters in this game. He's so cute. And then you'll also see that his mother had her baby, so that's good. You never get to talk to her. She'll stay pregnant the entire game. But it looks like it's happily ever after, as a lot of Zelda games are. You know, everything goes back to normal as they once were. Ilia gets returned to her father, and Russell's back with his family. You also get to hear the epic Zelda music, which is always a good thing. And I like ending credit sequences like this that do things like this. They give more sort of, I guess, backstory to the story after the story is finished, if that makes any sense. You know, so it's really satisfying to see all of this take place, really. And here we are, back at the mirror chamber. Well, I guess this is farewell, huh? Light and shadow can't mix, as we all know. But never forget that there's another world bound to this one. Shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. I know now the reason the goddesses left the mirror of Twilight in this world. They left it because it was their design that we should meet. Yes, that is what I believe. Zelda, your words are kind and your heart is true. If all in Hyrule are like you, then maybe you'll do alright. And Midna's still Midna, even in her new form. Unfortunate that she has to go back, though. You know, she does have her own people and her own world to get back to. Feels weird, though. Thank you. Well, the princess spoke truly. As long as the mirror's around, we could meet again. Link. See you later. And she's gone forever. Which to me was always so sad, just because their relationship did develop so heavily over time. You know, Link will never see her again. You know, so the ending is somewhat bittersweet. Everyone else in Hyrule has benefited from Link's actions, but Link doesn't always get the happiest ending, although I do suppose that he did help the Princess of the Light World. Princess of the Shadow World benefited as well, but she knows that while light and shadow do coexist together, it's not always a good idea that the two mix. So it's kind of an emotional sort of ending. I do like endings though where, you know, not everything is 100% absolute and happy, because that's kind of more realistic in my mind. And then of course you get all the sad music after that scene happens, which just makes it so much more depressing. I've pretty much said all that I want to say though about this game. I just want to give one final thank you, as I always do in the ending credits. You know, without you guys, I wouldn't do any of these Let's Plays. I wouldn't even do games like this where I wasn't sure I wanted to do them in the first place. And you guys keep me going. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. There will definitely be more Zelda games in the future. I don't know which one is going to come next, but if I can have as much success with the next game as I did with this one, then that would certainly be a really good thing. I'm not going to be uploading any sort of bonus content. Like, I'm not going to be putting all the pose in one video or all the heart pieces in a video or anything like that, just because I don't have the raw footage anymore to do that. There are tons of facts you can look up if there was a Poe or a piece of heart that you missed. You know, I'm not the only person on the internet who helps people, so put the Master Sword back in its pedestal. It can rest there, because our journey is finished. And even Link gets to go back to his everyday life of being a simple goat herder in the village of Orden, as if nothing ever happened and the world was not in danger. Link just kind of hangs up his tunic and goes back to the way that things were in the first place. Or not. He rides off on my ass in the distance, off to another adventure. You wouldn't really think that Link would sit there and herd goats all day, did you? Nah, man, not after everything he's seen. That would be impossible. So Link goes off to another adventure, says goodbye to a dear friend, saves the princess, and we will see what happens to him next. So that's it, everybody. That's my final goodbye. Hope you guys enjoyed The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. It's been brought to you by Chocolate Milk. Was a pleasure to have you guys watch. Was a pleasure to play. And until the next Zelda game, I will see you guys next time.